Hello everybody, welcome to Inspiration 44. It is November 2nd, and I am recording this at about 8 p.m. Pacific time. I have been thinking all day about what to say in this inspirational 44 audio devotion, and I'm just going to say this. One of the things I'm learning is about choosing a good attitude. I know it seems basic because we always hear people say, you know what, have an attitude of gratitude. Or so-and-so, you know what, their attitude bites. Their attitude isn't really that great. Have you been around that person? Their attitude, is horrible. But Christians, that's us, hopefully, hopefully we have a good attitude. And I have to honestly tell you, I would be the first person to say I'm not perfect. Ask my husband, he knows. I would also be the first person to say that God has totally stretched me and is directing me and trying to teach me that I can choose to have a good attitude in all things. And so today, here's an example. My day started out, I felt something weird in my mouth. Next thing you know, my mouth is bleeding, and I'm seeing this gray metallic stuff come out of my mouth. Blech. I freaked out. Why? Because, oh my gosh, that happened. And I have to admit, my attitude initially was, oh my gosh, and I got mad. I was annoyed. I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, because this is the last thing I need already. Because I'm stressed out as it is, and it's just really easy for me to go off. But in my mind, I also was having this other voice saying, okay, wait just a second. You know what? The world isn't falling apart here. You have a choice of your attitude. You can choose to look at what's good in this situation. Because even though you feel like this is a horrible, rotten situation, you can choose, Stacy Harp, to look at what's good. And so it was a battle, a true, honest battle in my head to choose to look at what's good. And so I had to keep telling myself, okay, look, it's good this happened now because I'm not traveling across the country like I will be in a few weeks. It's good this happened after calling 3 different dentists. Finally, I found one open on Friday. Okay, so that was good. I'm glad that I was able to go to that. Finally, after I was at the dentist's office for an hour waiting, and then they tell me what the situation was, which was basically, I cracked a tooth, my cavity, part of it fell out. I need to have a root canal and a crown. Okay, that sounds horrible, but the good part is my tooth isn't infected, and so that's a good part. And, I'm not in tons of pain. Also very good. Also, I could put it off for a month. She said no problem. It wouldn't be a horrible thing. Obviously, though, I'm not going to do that because I want it to be taken care of as soon as possible because it feels really nuts inside my, how you get something stuck in your tooth and you want to try to get it out and you can't? That's kind of how it feels. So in all of these things, I've been trying to focus on choosing a good attitude. And if it's one thing I know from my years of experience doing therapy with people, is that your perspective on things is everything. And this is also one of the very key things about the persecuted church, because if you know anything about the persecuted church and Christians who are able to endure Christian persecution and stand in their faith, it's because they choose a good attitude. They make a choice, just like Viktor Frankl, who was not a Christian, but he was a survivor of the Holocaust. He often talked about how you can choose your attitude. Nobody can take your attitude away from you but you. And I'm preaching to myself, trust me on this, because I am the first one, it used to be years ago, my patients were, really long. And as I've gotten older, they've gotten shorter and shorter and shorter. And then when you add one major stress on top of another major stress and then another one, it's really easy to cultivate a bad attitude if you want. But here's the thing. God isn't teaching me and this is what's really cool about doing this audio blog throughout the whole year. God is showing me, okay, Stace, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to chip this away from you. I'm going to chip this over here. I'm chipping this here. In fact, when I was in my car today, I turned on Mandisa's song, her song Stronger, and I was really listening to the lyrics as I was going to the dentist. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great song for me to be listening to. And so I'm listening to it. And it was really interesting just hearing the lyrics to that song, because she was saying, you know, he's just going to make you stronger. Everything you're going through, it's just going to make you stronger. And, you know, we are clay in the potter's hand. You know what? And we're animated mud pies, man. I say that all the time. And we like to tell our potter exactly what to do most of the time, and I am totally guilty of that. But here's the thing. The truth of the matter is he has got me in his hand, and he's going like this. He's, you know, putting stuff on me. He's spinning me on that wheel, you know, and there's water on me, and he's meshing me and pinching me and pushing me and forming stuff there and making me what he wants me to be. And he's doing that to you too. The question is, do you have a good attitude or a bad attitude? It's not always fun, is it? But, you know, we can choose to have a good attitude. And that's what makes us different than most of the other creation God made. God made us in his image. He gave us free will to choose right and wrong. And so we can choose good and evil. And when you choose a good attitude, you're choosing good. When you choose a bad attitude, you're not. When you choose to give thanks for the circumstances you're in, you're choosing good. When you choose to grumble, complain, and all that, God doesn't like it. He destroyed lots of people for doing that. So that's kind of where I'm at. And it's not a fun place. But you know what? I'm there, and I'm okay with it. I'm making some decisions I'm not overly crazy about. But you know what? That's okay, because God has a purpose in it. And he is doing something good. And I know that in the end, the beauty of that product is going to turn out. It's going to be great, and you don't get refined unless you've been in the fire, right? So choose a good attitude and let God do the rest. All right, so have a good day, or, well, what's rest of it, what's left of it. And if you're resonating with this, please leave a comment and tell me what you think. If you're new, you can also follow me at the number 44 inspiration on Twitter. Message me there, and that would be great. All right, have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you tomorrow right here on Inspiration 44.